Hey crafty friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video. Today we are featuring products from Scrappy Boy Stamps, and we're going to make a 3D box card featuring the New Yorker Suites of collection. So I've got the New York Skyline die set. We're going to use that. We're going to use the New Yorker stamp and die set. So I've got that all ready to go. And we've got our 3D box die set. I've already pre-cut everything. And I've got my New Yorker pattern paper that I picked from. We're going to be doing a Happy Festivus card, since it's for the holiday card series. If you're watching this on my channel. So I've cut out a piece of white cardstock just for the back. I've got all my parts and pieces for the 3D box card. So there's that. We've got our layering pieces as well. And before we get started on that, I'm going to take my silhouette of the New York skyline, and we're going to add a little bit of ink blending to these. So for our New York skyline and our bridge, which I would assume is the Brooklyn Bridge, we're going to add a little touch of yellow, as if the lights from the city are reflecting on our elements. And I'm going to add a little bit more to our skyline, because I will end up adding some little dots of white for lights being on in the city. But we want to add just a little bit of reflective light from the city behind. So there's that. Now for our little Statue of Liberty, I'm going to add a little bit of light on her as well. But I'm also going to add a little bit of a green on her. To add just a little bit pop of color in there. I really just want it around the edge. I'm going to take a paper towel and buff some of that center off. I really just want it to act as if the light is hitting it. So there's that part. All right, for our 3D box card, we've got our base piece. And this can go up or down, I'm assuming. I've got 3 steps for the inside. I'm going to have to end up cutting some of those down a little bit. So we got our 3 steps. We've got our base. That's the inside of the base. This will go on the back to have a place to write a message. And then we got our layering pieces for our bases. And we have our 2 side pieces. And our layering pieces for those. And our little front piece. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my pattern paper first, before I assemble anything. And I'm going to go to the side with this one. I want it to be a little bit wider. I'm going to go ahead and attach all of my layers before we do anything else. So I'll add glue behind each one. Got our step here. I'm just leaving a little margin around each. So our front step. Make sure everything's nice and lined up evenly. And then we have our 2 sides. Now, make sure when you're doing your sides that you put put that piece on the outside. So that decoration is on the outside. You could do it the other way. Just make sure you flip it, have the right one going the right with the right piece. So we're going to put that one right here. All right, I'm saving this because I will end up stamping a message and then I'll attach that to the back once everything's together. Now we're going to take and fold up our score lines. So I'll give those all a nice little crease. I'm going to have my sides first. So we'll fold all of those on that score line, and I folded them all back because I'm going to attach them to the sides. So we'll go ahead and do these as well. And we are going to have to do a little measuring for our skyline so that we can get it in place right. So I already knew that was going to happen, so no biggie there. All right, so there's all of our pieces there. Now we're going to figure out how much we're going to have to cut off of our skyline. I probably should have just measured from this one since this is what I really am going to need. So we'll just take in, do that. We'll have that part there. Let's see, our bridge. I don't think we'll have to do too much off the bridge. I think once it's inside, it will be okay. So we're going to leave that one alone. Statue of Liberty, I should be able to leave alone. I'm going to go ahead and attach my skyline to this one, this layer here. So we're just going to attach that right there. I'll go ahead and attach my Lady Liberty. As well. And then before I do my bridge, I'm going to attach the side pieces. So I'm going to use liquid glue. And I'm going to line this up on just using that score line as my guide, and I'll press that into place and line everything up off of that score line. Like I took the score lines right there. I've just lined the edge up of the card right to that score line. Just like so. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So we'll add liquid glue. We'll take and line that up. Along that edge there. There's the base of our 3D box. We're going to add our first section here. And I'm going to line this up with that score line and the very bottom. So I'm just coming up to this score line, adding that in. Make sure you give it time to dry. Give it time to dry. All right, I'll do the other side in a minute. I'm gonna do one side at a time. All right, we're gonna have to figure out our skyline here, or our bridge. You know what? I'm gonna bring this one up a little. And it will be okay, because no one will ever know. And if I have to make a special envelope, that's okay. This is designed to fit into an A2 envelope, going the other direction. I don't know about horizontal. So, all right, I'm going to add the bridge. Onto our panel here. And I'm going to take off just a little on both sides. And then I can always cut another one if I don't like it and put it down. No biggie. You know what? I'm going to cut another one. So I will be right back. All right, I went and cut another of our bridges, because I'm going to actually move this up enough that the edges should not hit. So I'm going to move it up right in there. And that way it should be perfectly fine where it's resting at. And now I see that this is not going to go that direction. All right, so let's rethink our plan here. We're going to need a new piece of pattern paper for the background. So I will cut that. All right, so you may be wondering why I'm changing this up. Because I've noticed that when this was going this way, this side, with that being right there, there's not enough room for it. So we're going to have to flip it around, which is an easy fix. It just involves cutting another piece of paper to hide what we've already started. So we will add that on, hide that. We'll reattach this. Everything's fixable. We're just going to line that up the same way. All right, now I'm going to flip this over to the other side. Because then I'm going to add liquid glue to each of my tabs. And then all I have to do is close this side. You just have to take that glue a second to dry. Once it's dry, you can pop it back open. All right, so for our front, we're going to add that on our little flaps. That over there. Line it up with that score line. And then we'll line this side up as well. Make sure that's nice and squared. Alright, so there's our box card base. We will finish decorating it. I've got Elaine and Seinfeld, whoever they are. I'm going to add those to the front. We're going to add a sentiment to the back of this. And I'll be honest, I have never watched this show before. So, just like you would think, I've never made a card before. At the rate we're going today. Alright, where did that go? We're going to add Festivus for the rest of us on the back. And our little guy back here. And we have a little place that we can write a little message. Stamp that. I'm going to stamp that in tulip red ink. So it's nice and festive looking. That. All right, we're going to go ahead and add our back panel to the back of our card. We'll add liquid glue to that. I can just pop that on. If Rick could hold it. So we'll add that on. There's our place to write our back. And then we've got our characters for the front. I'm going to add those as well as if they are enjoying a festivus at night, and you have the skyline in the background. So we will make sure those are in place. I'm going to fold this down because I'm going to take my white gel pen or white pen so I can add some highlights to them. And we've got to add some highlights to our background as well. Add the background there. A little to our silhouette of our bridge. I couldn't think for a second. I was concentrating on my lights I'm putting back there. Just gracing them across the wires of the bridge. I'm just adding little windows for our buildings. So there would be lights on. All right, my friends, here is a closer look at our 3D Festivus box card featuring the New Yorker suite of products. You can see that it stands up all by its own. You have that nice, lovely tiered effect going on. If you liked any of these products, you can pick them up in the links listed below. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Stay crafty. Love you. Bye.